The battle was supposed to be brief and decisive. That's what everyone, including the spectators, expected when they arrived near Manassas, Virginia. Congressmen, reporters, and the generally curious traveled 30 miles west from our nation's capital, picnic baskets in tow, hoping to catch a glimpse of this entertaining event. But entertainment morphed into lethal chaos as two inexperienced armies locked arms on that sweltering July day in 1861. There were some who knew these two armies weren't ready for a real fight. General Winfield Scott, a grizzled veteran of the Mexican-American War and the overall commander of the Union forces, believed that the first full year of the war should be spent in simple battle readiness, producing supplies, uniforms, weapons, and training green farm boys about real warfare. But his opinion wasn't shared by the politicians, the lovely young women in hoop skirts waving handkerchiefs at their gallant boys in uniform, or the farm boy soldiers themselves. Confederate Brigadier General P.G.T. Beauregard was so eager to put his troops into action, he wrote on July 8, 1861, "If I could only get the enemy to attack me, I would stake my reputation on the handsomest victory that could be hoped for." A little less than 2 weeks later, he got his wish. While Beauregard and his officers were anticipating dinner at the home of Wilmer McLean, a Union artillery unit fired a shell that crashed through the kitchen. Needless to say, dinner was canceled. As the battle developed, Confederate Brigadier General Barnard E. Bee, Jr. was ordered to move his troops and artillery to Henry Hill. He was so certain that he was being sidelined by these orders that he was disgusted when an officer expressed concerns that the troops hadn't had anything to eat. Bee snapped, "You will have plenty of time to cook and eat to the music of a battle in which we will probably take little or no part." At the end of the day, he would be mortally wounded. Some of the good people of Washington were convinced that the war would be a lark. They followed the Union troops for the day as though they were part of a parade. They came in carriages, wagons, buggies, and on horseback, well supplied with picnic hampers and drink. The spectators, dressed in their finery and munching on fried chicken and cucumber slices, watched the battle seesaw back and forth like a horrifying tennis match. Most of them stayed a safe 5-mile distance, where they required strong field glasses. It may have been a little like watching a game without really knowing the rules or recognizing the players. In some cases, the uniforms of both sides looked identical. Some of the Confederate regiments still wore the blue uniforms from their previous allegiance to the Union. The battle flags were so close in color that even General P.G.T. Beauregard, commanding the Confederate Army, couldn't tell from a distance whether approaching troops were friendly or hostile. The spectators might have cheered when the Union soldiers in blue took the top of Henry House Hill, but their elation would have been short-lived. Led by General Thomas Jackson, the Confederate Virginians retook the hill and drove the panicked Yankees down the hill and across the stream, where many of the harassed soldiers threw their rifles down. These civilian spectators might have been among the first, along with the unseasoned Union troops, to hear the fabled rebel yell in battle. General Jackson had exhorted his men, "And when you charge, charge like furies." As the battle swirled in their direction, the spectators found themselves uncomfortably involved. Picnic baskets were swept up in haste or abandoned as the onlookers became part of a chaotic retreat toward Washington, D.C. This distinguished audience had expected an afternoon's diversion, and now they were running for their lives.